Ahoy! It's Alicia from Time to Travel, back with you with another ship tour. Now, I'm pretty sure this is so far my favorite large ship, and that is Celebrity Edge. It is the flagship ship of the Edge class fleet with Celebrity, and I think you're going to love it. So enjoy the ship tour on board Celebrity Edge. We start our ship tour on Celebrity Edge on deck 3 forward. Though we are just aft of the forward elevators, if you go all the way forward, which you can't get to on this deck, that is the base of the theatre. As we quickly scoot upstairs, I'm going to show you a place that you probably haven't been to, or very few of you have been to on the ship, and that is the meeting place. So these are basically the conference facilities. The staff will also use it for staff training. And then as we go all the way forward, this is the lowest passenger deck for entering the theatre. Now, it's a really impressive theatre. A lot of the shows are conducted in the round, as you can see. It is one of the most technologically advanced ships at sea, not only from an engineering perspective for the ship propulsion and operation, but also the facilities inside the ship. As we leave the theatre and move aft, we're going to head past some of the shops on board. There is Spirited, which you'll find your duty-free liquor. There is also makeup and clothing. And we head into the club. Now this is 2 stories high, so we're entering from the base level. They do show movies in here throughout the day. They also have other activities, and then of an evening it turns into the disco. You'll also find ATMs on board. There is one just here. And as we head further aft, here is the photo gallery. This is also the future cruises area, the studio, and then we come through to Cafe El Baccio. And if we head further aft, we go past some more of the high-end jewelry stores on board before we find the first of the 4 main dining rooms. This is Cyprus. Now, each of the dining rooms does have the same menu. They've just separated it into 4 separate areas. You'll also find this on ships like Quantum and Ovation of the Seas on Royal Caribbean. It's quite a nice concept. Rather than having everybody into the one dining room, it makes it feel like you're having more of an intimate dining experience in a specialty restaurant. Straight across the hallway is Cosmopolitan, which has this great entrance of wine bottles. And you can see each of the different restaurants is themed slightly differently, so it does feel like a different experience each night, even though you are having the same menu. I'll come back to the other 2 dining rooms a little later, but we're going to head back forwards through the casino. If it is your first time cruising, the casino is only open when you are at sea. If you are in a port, the casino is closed. I do love how they've decorated this. I love these chairs. The backs of the chairs look very cool. And it's quite a large casino. You'll find 00 and 0 roulette wheels. There is, of course, a craps table. And there's your 0 wheel. And then something unusual, a lot of cruise ships have gone to electronic poker, but they actually do have a real poker table on Celebrity Edge. This is the casino bar, or this is kind of like a sports bar where they have the TV screens. What I don't like though are the slot machines actually built into the bench. I just feel it takes away from the experience of just having, a drink at the bar watching sport. You have here Le Grand Bistro. Now this also doubles as le petit chef of an evening, and I've got to say hello to Margaret here. She is the concierge and she helped us with all our needs for our group on board. Now I know it feels like we've kind of come full circle, but we're going to head back down to deck 3 now. And this is the martini bar. This area is the Grand Plaza, but this specifically is martini bar. So they have some great music. Oh, we danced the night away in here. And they also have some really amazing flair bartenders. They put on a show every night. There's a lot of seating here, but it does get really full. So if there is music on, make sure that you come and get a seat early. And as we head aft, I know it feels like it's a bit of a rabbit warren, we come to guest services. Nice and open, there's some seating there that you can wait your turn. You'll also find over here the concierge. And this is pretty spectacular. It's the first time I've seen anything like this on a ship, but here is the hull. You can actually touch the outermost part of the ship. That is really cool. Usually that is covered by some kind of wall or bulkhead. Very first time I've touched the hull of a ship. You find some interesting art on board. This one looks like it just melted straight out of the wall. There are some seats out here, which is really handy if you're waiting to get into the main dining area. Once again, take a look at that art. And Tuscan is another one of the main dining venues on board. Now, obviously this isn't set up for a meal right now, but I think you can use your imagination, and once you go inside, you will be impressed with the layout. It is gorgeous. I find this level, level 3, has a lot more seating than when we were just up on level 4 outside main dining. There is the compass, it is huge. And the last main dining restaurant here is Normandy. And look at these ceilings. I mean, you can just see how different each of those main dining venues are. Which one would be your favorite? Drop it in the comments below. Now, as you can tell, this isn't a straight forward and aft ship. Sometimes you need to go up to go down or down to go up, but I'm going to show you this as best I can. So we've jumped up now to deck number 5, and remember the club I showed you before where we entered on the ground level? Well, this is the upper level. You can see it really is an expansive space. There's lots of seating, it's nice and dark and intimate. It's really got a good vibe. We exit the club and here is all the artwork. There goes Margaret again. She's a very busy woman. But it's quite an expansive selection of art here, as you can see. Now, sometimes on these ship tours, you just never know where you're going to end up. So I've come outside on deck 5, and I am now heading aft. Now, like I said, sometimes ships just don't make sense, and I have no idea where I ended up, but I can see the magic carpet is just off to the left there. You can see that orange pole there. That's where it goes up and down. And then all of a sudden, I find myself inside the restaurant. Oops, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be in here. But this restaurant is Raw on 5. And then across the way, which you'll see a little later on, is the Fine Cut Steakhouse. And there's a mini replica of the magic carpet. Now there is some more fine jewelry shopping here, Cartier, Bulgari. You can definitely spend your money on board, that's for sure. Now I have something really special to show you, and it's probably one of my favorite places on board any ship that I have been on. And this is the entrance to the Eden Bar. I mean, it serves no purpose apart from great Instagram photos and a little bit of pizzazz, but we come through and this is where you will find Blue Restaurant. So if you are staying in Aqua Class cabins and suites, you will have access to Blue. I really enjoy it. If I'm not in a suite on board, I will have Aqua Class just to be able to have this as a dining experience. And they really have some beautiful fabrics on the chairs here. They have this mini Eden Garden sign. It's really beautifully done. Mankind is a shop there for the gents. And you do really feel like you are coming into the Garden of Eden when you enter the Eden Bar. You really do need to experience this for yourself, because just looking at it as a flyby, you don't get a feel for the textures of the sofas or the walls or anything like that. You just need to sit in here and take it all in. It is really impressive. Earlier we flashed by Cafe El Baccio. This is a secondary smaller area where you can get some snacks, some food and drinks. And then look how this just opens up. They've got hanging plants. You can see out the back, if you've been on a Royal Caribbean ship, it almost reminds you of the solarium area at the top of, say, Wonder of the Seas. There's just so much light that comes in. Now right down the bottom here is Eden Restaurant. It is a specialty dining restaurant. Throughout the day, often you can see them preparing down there. But it really just feels like a fantasy land in this section of the ship. Now maybe I'm spending too much time in here for your liking, but I spent a lot of time in here. I really love it. They have music here of an evening. Like, look at these little sections you can just sit in. And then if you want to go from deck 5 up to deck 6, you can walk all the way. This is like a ramp that wraps all the way around to the next level up, or you can just take the stairs. Another cute little area here that you can have a drink, have a read. There's some books and games there. Or just sit there, look out and enjoy the view. Now the ramp I was telling you about, let's head down it. Now look at all these comfy chairs. Can you imagine just grabbing a drink, grabbing a book, sitting here, sunning yourself? There's really nothing better. And then some of my favorite seats on board. Look at these hanging chairs. They were so comfortable. As you watch this, I really hope that you can imagine yourself sitting in here and enjoying an afternoon at the bar. As we leave the area, those stairs just on the right will take you down to the main dining restaurants of Cosmopolitan and Cypress, but we're going to keep heading forward back through the entrance to the Garden of Eden. More places to spend your money. And another specialty dining restaurant here is Fine Cut Steakhouse. You can sit inside or outside, which is really nice because so many of the restaurants on most cruise ships are inside. And from here you can just look down all the way down to the Martini Bar in the Grand Plaza. Now I just wanted to pop back all the way forward on deck 5 and show you a little area which is the Captain's Club and the concierge. So basically where Margaret's office is. And from one level up than where we were before in the theatre, this is more of a top-down view. And as you can see, the crowd does wrap right around the stage, and there is our captain. It wasn't Captain Matt on our sailing, he was on vacation, but that's okay, we'll hopefully see him next time. So from deck 6 to deck 12 are passenger decks. So let me take us up to deck 12 because there is one thing up here apart from cabins, and that is Lumine Restaurant. So that is the restaurant for guests that are staying in suites on board. Lumine is open generally for breakfast, lunch and dinner each day, though the hours can vary from port to sea days. Coming outside now, we are at the pool deck, and the pool deck is on deck 14. Here is the pool bar. Yes, the staff on board are really friendly. I love these big lounges here just to lie out in the sun. Look at these ones where you can almost dip your feet in the pool. It's a really impressive outdoor area. You have the mast grill here, and you'll notice that there are kind of like these little half levels up and down around the pool deck. These are cabanas that you can hire for the day. They look really comfortable, though not really that private with people walking past all day. I perhaps would have liked them to have a little bit more privacy. I did mention there's a lot of half levels around this pool deck. So you'll see there's an accessibility lift just here. And then if you want to play some cornhole, there you go. There are so many really interesting engineering features on this. I mean, the raised walkway around there is pretty impressive. It's not like a regular walking track. We'll go for a run around there in a moment. But have a look at these jacuzzis up here. They almost look like you're sitting in a wine glass. Now, as we head all the way forward, this is the solarium area, so if there is inclement weather, you can still swim and lie out with protection from the elements. There is the Spa Cafe, which has some nice little healthy snacks throughout the day. You can always get coffee here, water stations, and then there'll be some sweets, some sandwiches, some rolls here, wraps. You can also get breakfast here as well. Now you see the spa girls at the entrance there, so you know the spa is somewhere close by. There is the personal trainer, so you know the gym's here as well. So this is the reception for the spa. And then over the other side, these are the treatment rooms. So that's reception here for the treatment rooms. Here's the men's and women's change rooms, and that's how you would enter through to the spa and thermal suites. There's a relaxation room there. And here we have the salon. And just across the way is the barber. Heading up the stairs, we come to a fairly impressive gym. There's a lot of treadmills, a lot of cross trainers, ellipticals, steppers, bikes, recumbent and upright. There's pelotons there, rowers, anything you need. So you have a stretching area here, as well as two studios, one with the spin bikes and one here that they will do classes. You can see the attachments there. You can put TRXs up there, boxing bags. They'll do seminars in here as well. The great thing about this gym is all the equipment was in really good repair. I was on Quantum of the Seas recently and there was a lot of out of service equipment, but everything on board here was working really well. There's a great selection of dumbbells, nice and heavy for you. There's also a Smith machine, which I really love, on board, and a small selection of kettlebells, though the ceiling height is really a problem if you're trying to snatch. There's an in-body machine right there. You've heard me say it before. I'll tell you again, get one done on land. They're about a quarter of the price that you'll pay on a ship. Now, as you exit the gym and head aft past the elevators, you will find the retreat lounge. Now, this is for guests that are staying in a suite, although you can also purchase the retreat pass. Now, it may have changed since I was on board, but you did need to be sponsored or be invited and pay for a retreat pass. For example, I was staying in a concierge class cabin, but I had purchased a retreat pass because I was traveling with friends that were in suites. So I had all full access to everything that the suite guests had access to. Have an evening in here, you'll have drinks and canapes, there's coffee machines there, sodas in the fridge, and then you come upstairs onto deck 16 and you have the full sun deck, which is just for retreat passengers. So you've got day beds, umbrellas. There's also a private swimming pool here for you. Look at these cute little lounge areas. So as I mentioned, I was here with a group of 110 people on board, and about half had access to the suite area. So it was really great to have access to it so I could spend time with them. You'll see these doors with numbers. These are actually suites that have direct access to this pool deck. They're two-story loft suites that have access from one deck down and then also access from this upper level as well. And here we have the retreat bar. You can also get food here as well. And then the pool, there's some great hanging chairs there as well. I mean, this is just a beautifully done, relaxing area. And look at those views. And the jacuzzi there as well. I'm not sure if you saw my tour of Cunard's Queen Elizabeth, but I've got to say this is much, much more impressive than the premium suite area, the grill section that was on board Cunard. This is definitely much more luxurious. Now, if you are in the retreat, you do have access also through here out to the main area, and you can see us picking up the walking track. Now, this is one of the most exciting walking tracks that I have seen, but also equally as exciting is the magic carpet. And this is really an incredible feat. This also doubles as the platform that you will board the tenders on. So this raises and lowers. So if you haven't seen my cabin tour on board, go and take a look at that. Just click up the top here and you will see the magic carpet passing by my cabin. Let's continue on the running track. I love, 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 love this artwork. There is the pool. And this running track is so much more exciting than anything else on any other ship because it's undulating, it crosses over, it goes around. So if you're confused as to where we are aft of deck 15. And this area here is the rooftop garden and the garden grill. We sneak around the back and we have the sunset bar. Out here you will see that the plants are actually covered. Because we went to New Zealand, this is actually a quarantine regulation that they do need to cover the plants. So you won't generally see that on other sailings. If you are walking on this track, you stick to the left. If you're running, you stick to the right. So here you'll see it crosses over the ship. You can play some table tennis here, and then it wraps back around and actually heads back up a level. It's pure genius. And here you can see the top of the solarium. Now, just to confuse you, I'm taking you back down to deck 14 and we are all the way aft, and this is Ocean View Cafe. This is the buffet on board. This is El Segundo Barcio, which means the second coffee shop there. You'll find your breads, absolutely everything. I mean, I really love celebrities' food. I find that often their buffet food is better than main dining on Royal Caribbean. And that's saying something. There's a lot of seating though on embarkation day. Just remember the buffet is pretty much the only place open, so it does get really, really busy. So don't let that be your impression of what the buffet is going to be like every day. But out the back here, we have pizza. And I mentioned this before, but I really love ships that have an outdoor area which you can eat, because I find inside quite often they're really cold and I feel the cold. So it's awesome to be able to sit outside. I mean, this is at about 5 o'clock in the morning, so it is dark, but on a beautiful sunny day to be able to sit out, get some fresh air, it's really beautiful. On the buffet, you'll find multiple drink stations for tea and coffee, water and ice. Once again, here is another drink station. I was here that early that they hadn't even opened up for breakfast yet. But they were still lovely and friendly, and knowing that I was going to be snookered right here, look, they came along and opened the door for me. Wonderful service. If it is too busy for you inside the buffet, just remember there's this other little area that you can come and sit. Very handy to know. And we're back out on the pool deck. Thank you so much for watching our ship tour on board Celebrity Edge. And if you want to see more of our videos, you can just click here.